Everyone in Ngozi Talk Shows family is Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, Rachel G. How are you, Rachel G?
I'm good, thank you, Nomsa. Yourself?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. It's snowing here in UK and it's freezing. So, get into the topic. As the topic today is stop focusing on the future, focus on today instead, which is we've done this topic and we are doing part two. So, what do you think about the topic, Rachel? I know you chose the topic and I'm just writing my goals right now, but my mind is in 5 years' time, what I'm going to achieve in 5 years' time. I cannot stop focusing on the things that I want to achieve in 5 years' time. Please give me some tip because it's driving me insane and I really don't know what to do. Please give me some tip.
Well, this is the reason I picked it was I agree in it, and yet I also think it's not the entirety of you can't not think or think about things in the future. It is important to have a balance. So I mean, the more we can live in the present moment, it is really going to help us because it's much of our psychological, shall we say, distress and our mental and emotional suffering doesn't exist when we are really present in the now moment, because a lot of our suffering will come from whether we live in the past, which is in our minds, because that's where
I'm going to let
feelings of resentment, regret, grief, shame, guilt, all of that reside in the past, and those feelings hang around us if we stay living in the past. And likewise then in the future, the suffering is more future related if we are constantly thinking about in our minds the future, because that will raise anxiety, it will raise worry, and self-doubt. And so the more we can live in the present, then these feelings, we can learn to have them as the teachers. They are coming to give us a lesson, and then we should just move on. So if we make a mistake which we regret, then we learn from that lesson, and then we just let it go, and we're able to kind of just like move on. If you do something that you're not proud of, the same thing. It's like you might feel a bit of shame or guilt in the moment. Again, if we can learn from it and move on, that's the best way. But if we're always constant living in the past, then we just end up in this kind of like with these emotions like hanging around us, and they will just keep reliving whatever the experience was over and over and over, and that's not the best feeling. So learning to balance this ability to look at the past, to learn from it so that we don't keep repeating it, but the ability to also look into the future so that we may see some likely outcomes, if we continue to do something, be that a good outcome or a not so good outcome, is what I feel is the best way to try and approach life. It's what I'm currently trying to do, is not to sit every day too far in the future worrying and getting anxiety over what may or may not happen, but to have a vision and to have an idea of where it is that I'm heading, what is my true north, what does my future life want to look like, but holding it, not grabbing hold of it so intensely that this is the way it's got to be. It's more, this is my idea, and then coming back to the present moment and just focusing each day on what actions can I take, or how can I think, how can I feel to keep me in a place where I'm taking intentional action, but I'm very much focused on how I'm feeling, as my priority, and being able to respond to what's going on in the present moment, because it's actually our present moment that is creating our future. So opportunities or things that happen in our lives, we might need to take a course of action that is not what we had planned, and then we can get stressed about it. And so that's really why I the word trying, I don't want to use that word. That's why I'm really cultivating this this ability within myself to live more now, have a very loose idea of where it is that I'm going, as in being flexible and just learning from whatever happens in my day-to-day life. If things go wrong or I make a mistake, that I just correct it and I let it go and I keep moving forward. So this is why I decided to talk about this subject today, because I'm currently in it. And there's a question that I continue to ask myself all the time, which has just started to happen in the last month or so, where I'll say, where is it that I'm walking towards if I do this? Is this taking me to my vision, my idea, how I want to feel in the future, how I want to be feeling? Is that gonna keep encouraging that or not? And so I find that a really great self-check-in question, which kind of is like navigating me forwards in the right direction. You're on silent. Can't hear you.
I'm on silence. Hi, Ngozi Talk Show's family. Please feel free to actually type and communicate with us and tell us how you actually dealing with this thing of focusing in the future, focusing in the present moment instead of focusing in the future. I actually agree with you, Rachel, because everyone talks about writing goals, and also you spoke about you have to learn to balance the past and the present moment. That means I embrace my shame. I have learned from my shame, whatever that shame that might be. Do I actually need to feel ashamed of the challenges that we've gone through in life? I don't think so. I don't think we're meant to feel ashamed. I think we're meant to learn from the challenges of our past. We're meant to embrace it. We're meant to learn from it. We're meant to make us stronger. But we actually create this shame and the guilty of, if I hadn't done this, things would have not gone that way. But no one knows the future. Yeah. So I actually agree with you. And if anyone is watching, if your past has not gone the way you wanted to go, maybe let's say is business, maybe let's say is marriages, maybe let's say losing your loved ones, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling ashamed and about all these situations, just try to look back from your past, because every past that we've gone through, it has made us who we are today. I've gone through so many things in the past, but when I look at them, I lost my dad, I lost my stepdad, I lost my stepmom, I lost my grandparents that raised me when my parents were working. They raised me, looking after me, making sure that I was fed and everything. Just before my parents come back to work, they help me with so many things. And those are the people that I have lost, going through divorce and making mistakes in businesses and doing so many things, making mistakes. But when I look at my past, it has brought this Nomsa that is here today. This Nomsa was always there when I was a child, but I lost her when I became a follower, trying to fit in with people. So I think it's important to look back where we were in the past and learn from that past, the things, if the marriage didn't work or if the business didn't work, how many people who are billionaires, they failed, some of their business failed, but they didn't give up. They didn't blame themselves. Writing goals, it doesn't mean I have to live in the 5 years time. It means I'm aware of my journey where I need to be. It means I am aware of my want. I am aware of my desires. I'm aware of how I want my life to look like in 5 years, but I cannot live in that 5 years. What I do is myself, I tell God, I say, God, you know my life has been messed up. You know where I need to be. You know what's in my heart. Can you help me to get there? And then I hand over everything to him because he knows my future. My future was written before I was even born. I speak to the earth. I said to the earth, God created you. So you, earth, you are God. You are going to help me to get to where I need to be in 5 years. Once I speak to the earth, I don't need to worry about it. All I need to do is to take action. And when I see my journey going in a different direction, I have to have a word with God. I have to have a word with earth. You said, God, anything you ask in my name. Why is my life going this way now? Maybe I need to fix some things in my life. Maybe I need to fix my relationship with me. Maybe there are some things that I need to let go. Like Rachel said, there are some things I need to let go. I need to let go of the past that I'm still holding on. So I have to look at those things and actually create the life that I want. By creating the life that I want, I can't live there in 5 years. I can tell you I have a vision board where I've written everything. Alphabetically, I written what does love mean? The sins means what does it mean when they say sins? So when I'm saying I'm written everything, I'm translating the words. Sin, it means success into nothing, means I'm not getting anywhere in life. So it means I have to look at myself and cleanse myself and have a good relationship with me, so I can have a relationship with God to be on my side. If you believe in the universe, have a relationship, have a word with the universe. The universe will carry you through to where you need to go in 5 years. So that's how I actually deal with things, but people deal with things in different ways. So if you are our family, Gossip Talks family, and you are watching, please feel free to message us. Let us know how you are focusing on the future and focusing on the present moment. It might help us, might help our audience as well when you type and leave your message. Over to you, Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar, actually. We just maybe say it in different words, but
yeah,
for me, the only real way to manage the uncertainty of the future is to live in the present and to accept kind of into my heart that the future is uncertain. And so I'm cultivating this faith and trust that is very new to me. It's not something that I've had through my 20s, 30s, 40s. This is something that I'm really starting to understand because of the better relationship that I have nourished with myself. And so, this, whatever happens in my life happens for my greater good, is kind of like an affirmation that I live by, and it has really greatly reduced my anxiety levels. I start to trust that whatever is coming, be that painful, be that uncomfortable, unexpected, it's an experience that is always for my greater good. That I am really truly embodying and believing. It's like I know that is what the case is. And so by adopting this way of living, and the way of me seeing things, like I said, it's really reduced my anxiety levels, and instead of having fear, I have a lot more gratitude, because when I believe that whatever happens in my life is always for my greater good, then focusing on the future actually becomes less important as the present moment, because like I said earlier, the present moment is what is creating my future, and whatever happened in my past was something that was needed to happen so that I could have a lesson, or teach somebody else something, I don't know. But for me, it all comes together, and my role in all of that is that I need to remain mindful and keep realigning myself to who it is that I'm becoming, whilst at the same time cultivating this kind of presence, fearless presence to whatever shows up in my life, like to not be scared of what comes, because again, it's all happening for my greater good, even if I can't see it right then and there in the present moment. But that's what I choose to believe in. And for me, that agreeing with myself to have this open heart to all feelings, be that whether we call them good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, I am choosing not to fear my own emotions. Instead, I'm embracing them, and that by doing that, that's what helps me to keep my heart open to all the experiences that are happening. And so, yeah, the knock-on effect from that is I'm no longer a slave to my emotions, which is great.
I love that, Rachel. I really, really love that. Gratitude is very, very important. Whenever you're going through something, having gratitude, it means I am aware of what I'm going through, but I'm grateful for being here today and the things that whatever I've pulled through before. For me, gratitude is very, very important as well. And whenever I'm going through something, like today, someone said to me in the office, Nomsa, you're always positive, you're always happy, and you're not faking it. I said to him, I've learned to have a relationship with myself, and I've learned to actually meditate a lot and actually get rid of that anxiety within me, get rid of that fear, and just look after myself. Even sometimes, I said to him, sometimes I smile. It doesn't mean that I have everything figured out. No, it's just I'm just happy within myself. I'm happy that I'm breathing, and that's all I can ask for. And in life, we go through so many things. Even when we write our goals, sometimes things don't go our way. It doesn't mean that I have to actually get upset or be disappointed. For me, there's this thing where I have that, you know what, God, I know that I appreciate you. And like when you were saying is the future is uncertain. Kamau at Nkosi Talk Shows, there's a part where he says that there's no guarantee for tomorrow, and you have faith. And I think it is very, very important to actually have faith whatever you do in life. And faith is not is something that you're hoping that is going to go the way you're going. And if you focus on that, and without expectations, because we get these things where we want to know, we want a guarantee of everything that we do, if he's going to succeed or not. And if those expectations are not met, we get disappointed. But if you go with open mind and say, you know what, this is the marriage that I'm going in. I'm not sure whether it's going to work out. This is the business, this is the job, or this is the person in the friendship that I'm going in. But if it doesn't work the way I want, I'm going to be okay, because I have a good relationship with myself. And write goals. Don't write goals that are going to put pressure on you. Write goals that are going to carry you. The goals that you're going to look at them, and then if they don't work out, you're going to retweet and get there. 5 years, if you have a picture of where you want to be in 5 years, that is normal. You need to have a direction. You need to have a vision. And that future has to be in details. So for me, I know where I need to be in 5 years or 10 years time. My children, I know what I desire for them. And I just pray. I say, God, you know what? I cannot do this on my own. I just need that help for you to help me. I speak to the earth. God created the earth. I go outside and I take the sand, because the sand is the earth. I speak to that sand where in my environment where I am, or where in my office, and I'm like, help me to get to where I need to go. If things are not going well, earth, just help me. When the sun comes out, I speak to the sun. When the moon, I speak to the sun, because God created. I'm like, God created you. So I need you to help me not to harm me. Your job is not to harm me. So if I'm going through the wrong direction, you and God, help me to go into the right direction. If my goals or any member of my family or anyone that is connected to me on my email, on my phone, on social media, if they are sick, just help them, because I can't help them on my own. So those are the things that I do. Then I have to let go of the control. I have to let go of what life should be for me. As soon as I write my vision, I have envisioned my future. Now it's up to God and me to take action. And if only thing I can do is to be the person that I've meant to be, it means I have to take action. I have to do the work. But if things don't go my way, at the same time, I have to be aware of where God has pulled me through, the challenges where I have had to actually climb. And there's a mountain as well. There's this thing where we write goals, like I want to be a millionaire in a year's time. And then when you reach that millionaire thing, there's another mountain. Now, life has changed. So how do I go from here, from not being a millionaire, from becoming a millionaire? Like you're going through a divorce, Rachel, right now. And once the divorce is gone through, you have that freedom. There'll be another mountain. The freedom is here now. I can be who I want me to. I can be who I want to be. But then there will be challenges. Now you go out. Many ones will be going after you now. Now there's no ring on your finger. That is another mountain. Now you have to face, or maybe you've made a choice that, you know what, I need to take a break. Now God gives a mountain. Now he says, Rachel, I think this man will look after, will be there for you. The business that where you want to be a billionaire. This is the man that can carry you through. Emotionally, can he help you, build you up, and you are like, I'm not ready. And maybe you don't want to date anyone. You're like, I'm not ready, but the mountains brings men to you. Or simple, you're just free, no man coming to you. Is this thing where actually I'm single now. I can do whatever I want. And then the guilt comes, like friends, they want to take you out and you're like, but I just want to be on my own. So there is always a mountain that is always going to be there. But if you are somebody that loves themselves, somebody that value themselves, you won't see that as a mountain. You see that as a gratitude that actually I'm enjoying this, having people coming to me, offering to take me on dates, offering to spend time with me. I'm embracing it and I'm enjoying it. So it's how we see life sometimes. I'm not sure with you, Rachel.
Say again.
I mean, it's how we view life. Is sometimes we can live in that present moment if we choose to, or we can live in the past if we choose to. But what I need to ask you, if there is someone who is watching and they are living in the past and they've lost their confidence, and due to some people go through different things in life. Emotionally abuse, sexually abuse, or anything, physical abuse, and that can cause someone to lose their confidence. So how do they actually stop focusing on those who hurt them and focus on the future? What advice can you give them?
Yeah, I mean, when we can't stop thinking about the past or the future, it can become a problem, because that's when we get stuck, in this continuous thinking about either the past or the future. And we'll think about it even when it's not useful, even if it's causing us pain, and it's not going to give us anything productive out of it. And yet we still get stuck in that cycle. And so it's about, first of all, getting yourself in the present moment, because that's how you cut the thinking repetitive cycle. And the one thing that's always present is your body. Your body is always present, your breath is always present. So when you can stop whatever it is that you're doing and just take a moment to even just take in your surroundings and to, look at the sun, to look at the I don't know, the pattern on your wallpaper, or to look at the colors that are around your room, you will find that you then aren't thinking anymore, because your mind has also moved in with your body, and now your mind and body are both present. And that's the same when we just stop for a moment and we connect to our breath. That's also helping us to come into the present moment. And so that somebody who is stuck in the past, they need to learn how to get themselves into the present moment. And so, like, another one is having, the gratitude, like I said, for yourself, and it's accepting what is, it's happened. You can't do anything about it. That's life. It's just, it might not be how you want things to be, but it is what it is. And you've got to let go of that control. Having mindfulness meditation has really helped me as well, because again, that is a moment where you're bringing your body, your breath, your mind all together, aligned in the present moment, and it helps to stop and reduce the thoughts. I also think who we choose to spend time with in our everyday life is important. Are you hanging around with people who are fueling your continued thoughts of sitting in the past, of what's happened? Some people really enjoy to keep bringing up the past, keep regurgitating it. And if you're sat in and having those people in your company day in, day out, or week in, week out, then they're holding you also in the past. So you choose people who make you feel good, who make you feel happy and fulfilled, and are not focused on the past. Getting regular exercise, that's also a good way of getting yourself in the present moment, because again, when you're exercising, it's about your body. You're focused on what it is that you're doing, so that you're doing whatever the instructor is telling you to do. Let's say if you're doing something, copying from going on YouTube and doing your exercises, you're in that present moment. Going out for a walk, again, all of that is helpful. So you need to increase that amount. I don't think I've ever walked as much in my life as I have in this last 6 months. Every time I think, if I notice I'm ruminating, it's like, okay, I've got to get out. I've got to go for a walk and get my, just me moving and getting out of my chair and going out and being with the trees and the sun, the birds, etc. That it stops me from thinking about whatever it was that I was thinking. It's not important anymore. And so I think sometimes we can use that we are in the present moment, and then we can become careless also. I've noticed that it's sometimes, if you're too much in the present moment, in the sense that you keep using that as an escapism, because that can also be because you don't want to do something. So you gotta like learn about yourself, which is why we do, and why I'm a self-growth coach, because when you know that you're, on one hand, you're telling yourself, I'm doing this to get in the present moment so that I'm not thinking in the past, but then on another way, actually the underlying truth is that you're just doing it to escape something else, then that's not really helpful. So I think that's an important point to bring up, because I know that we can use that, like with anything, we can use things as an excuse not to do something. What else do I do that I would suggest also to my clients is, to give themselves space to have thoughts that are helping them to flourish, to helping them to see the bigger picture. But just do it for a short amount of time, and then, you got to give yourself an image or a vision that is meaningful, that is purposeful, that makes you want to get up out of bed every day, and head towards that. So it, like you said, it is important to set goals, but to what level are you setting them? How precise are you being? Are you doing it to the point that it's giving you pressure and it's making you feel that you need to go out there and do more, and you're constantly pushing to move towards something? For me personally, then you aren't probably feeling your best. You aren't probably feeling good and relaxed and in a high vibe. And for me, that would be a signal or an alarm that would go off to say, okay, maybe I need to adjust my goals and adjust my vision, so that it's flexible. It is more focused on how you want to feel rather than what you want to have in life. Because I think if you focus on what you want, on how you feel, you are that needs to happen in the present moment, and keep building on that for creating a future. The other things will just naturally come. That's my belief, but it doesn't mean that everyone sees that the same way as I do. People who say, well, I want to have the house, the car, the marriage, the this and the that, and they've got it all set up and they've got these beautiful pictures all over the place. It's like, if you're doing all of that but you're not really in connection with yourself, and you don't have that relationship with your, a good loving relationship with yourself, you can maybe achieve all of those things, but you still won't be fulfilled, satisfied. And so I think we have to do it the other way around. I think we have to focus on all the things we know that can help us to feel satisfied, happy, uplifted, and the other things will come into place. I'm not saying, it's not like I'm sitting there saying I don't have any vision for the future when it comes to my business or where I want to live, but I'm very much focused on the feeling that I want to achieve. Does that make sense?
Does make sense. It does make sense. I actually agree with you as well. Although I have my vision, but my vision has not got cars, has not got houses, because I've realized that if I actually ask God to help me get to where I need to go, and I'm putting a house, like let's say I'm putting a 5-bedroom house, what if He wants to give me 20-bedroom house? So that means that I have made a choice for Him. So if He says, no, sir, you want a 5-bedroom house, this is what you're going to get. So for me, it's like I've put that vision, and I've not put a house, I put an island. And an island, it means God can bless me in so many ways, in different ways. So that's how I put, instead of putting one individual house and saying, I want this, I want this. So I've put that island as, you know what, this is an island. So I can create and build anything that I want. I can have a car, I can have as many cars as I want. I can have anything that I want. So that means He can actually start putting things in that island where what He believes is my right, is my birthright, instead of me actually making a decision and saying, I want my business to be in a year's time to be this, to be this. I have an island that God needs to fill in there. So that's how I create my life. And I did this with my relationship as well, because people say you have to be specific. And all I did was to work on myself. And after working on myself, I actually took time off from dating. I knew I wasn't ready from dating. I knew there were some things that I needed to fix emotionally. And I knew I needed to leave some past behind. I needed to bend some things in my heart and just let it go completely. And that required me to do the work. And after I finished all that, and I said, you know what, God? When it comes to relationship, you know what I've been through. You know what kind of men I've dated. The handsome one, the tall ones, the rich ones, but in my ways, it doesn't work. So all I was like, just give me something, a man that is going to compliment me. And all I did was I wanted to do matchmaking business. So I had to register myself on the dating site to do some research and see what people do when it comes to dating, which is awful. When we go to dating sites and trying to meet people, it's not easy. And that's what I did. And then all I did was to sort my smile out when I go out. I learned to communicate, learn to be the one that says hello to people. I've learned to know that I can meet a man in unexpected places, because now I knew that God is doing the work for me. When you ask the earth or whatever you believe in, or you ask the universe, or you ask God to do the work for you, He will do it for you. And the earth will do it for you, whatever you ask. For me, I believed that I've asked him and he was doing the work. All I did was to smile, to communicate. When people come to me and say hello, I say hello back. I smile back. I was never judging anyone. And I find myself connected to people in places where I've never, ever dreamed of, which is you go out, you go to a supermarket, Waitrose, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, a man says hello. I was like, I'm actually loving this. This feels good. But I would just select the people that I wanted to take on dates until I found the one. And also when it comes to my business, I don't make a decision and say, this is how my business should look like. And when things are not going well, all I do is I keep taking action, and I ask God to gather my helpers to come my way. And I'll find myself meeting people that will connect me with people. But if I make a decision, and trust me, if I say, you know what, I just want an Aston Martin in 2 years' time, or in a 6 months' time, and put it there, I just feel like I'm depriving myself of my glory. I'm taking my glory away from myself. What if God wants to buy me a car, a 3 million car, and me, I'm telling him to buy me a car for £200,000? So I agree with you, Rachel. I don't do that. I don't put pictures. And some people, they even go to sleep. Apparently, they hug pillows. That's creating an invisible spiritual husband. And that can cause some stagnation, I believe, or hugging teddy bears. Teddy bear is not a man. And I don't believe in, I don't think it makes sense for a woman to go to bed and hugging teddy bears. Honestly, if we are manifesting for love, we have to manifest for love. For real, a real man, you just put it out there, your vision, what's in your heart. Because I was listening to the pastor, one of the pastors, and he was saying God works with the heart. If he already knows, or the earth, whatever your beliefs that might be, what's in the heart, just keep it there, hold on to it, and have open mind, be an open-minded person that is willing to receive the blessings, and not making a decision to say, you know what, I need a 5-bedroom house that has a swimming pool, that has what do you call it, gym and everything. What if God is going to add a cinema? What if there was going to be something added? Me, when I'm asking for my blessings, I want those blessings that are written in my book of life. That's what I need. Anything else? Because what is written in my book of life, it could be so many things. Anything else, it can just as I just say, God, anything that the glory, temporal glory needs to go. I need permanent glory. That's what I want. And I think it is important as well for the audience that are watching. It's not easy to actually focusing on the future, and to stop focusing on the future, and instead of in the present moment. Everything has to be balanced, because if we neglect our future, then God will get confused. I need to bless you, but I don't know where you need to go. So we need to know the path where we need to be in the future, but not getting obsessed with it. And in the present moment, we need to know, we need to live and stay focused, like what you were saying, Rachel, not self-awareness. I don't actually, when the thoughts, unwanted thoughts comes, I'm like, I'm aware of these thoughts, but these are not the thoughts that I need right now in my life. So you have to be able to actually create your own, work on your mindset, your emotions, and be aware of it. And also embrace the future, the past. Thank the past. I thank the past. I thank the men that thought I wasn't good enough. They thought they were better than me. I thank them for building me to be the person that I am today, because when I look at them, I'm like, actually, they made the right choice for telling me that I wasn't good enough. And then when I look at friends that I've left behind, I thank them. People who have hurt me, who have rejected me, I thank them, because they've given me something to actually work on myself, to find that NOMSA that I didn't think that was there. So I thank the past. So if anyone is watching, when you find yourself with mixed emotion, don't make it wrong. Like Carol Annie always say, don't make it wrong. Just be in the present moment and deal with them. And also it's important, never ever compare your 5 years with someone else's 5 years. We intended to compare our fake hair, our fake makeup, our cars, our businesses. We go around and comparing our social media. We compare with each other. This one is better than me. But guess what? Your future is your future. If it's not going well at this moment, it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. It means you have a choice to actually work on that future. You have a choice to ask God to restore all the years that have been taken away from you by depression, by destruction, by the men that thought you were not good enough, by women that thought you were not good enough. So you have a chance to actually restore your blessings. Over to you, Rachel.
Yeah. No, I mean, what was popping into my head was how much whatever your current circumstances are, they are an accumulation of all what has happened from your past way of thinking and feeling. And so whatever you're doing in the present moment, it's really important to be focused on how you want to be feeling with your intention of where it is that you're heading to, and not allowing your present circumstances to be dictating how you think and feel. Because if you look at your present circumstances and it's not going very well, like for example, my present circumstances are that I'm living, in a house with my ex-partner until we can sell it, and it's not always easy. And if I just focus on, is this always going to be the way it's going to be, and it might take forever, and blah 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 before we sell, and if I'm just focusing on what's going on right here and now in my present moment, as in what I can see, that's going to keep pulling me into the past. So what you have to learn is that this is where I'm heading. This is what I want my life to feel like as I'm moving forward. And what do I need to do now to keep that feeling? What are the things that I need to keep my vibration high? So I'm blocking out, shall we say, what it is that I'm currently sitting in, but I'm looking at what it is that I can do to keep me moving forward to where it is that I want to go, because I know that how I think and feel today is how my tomorrow is going to look. So you need to be one step ahead. And so, as we've repeatedly said now, we need to learn from the past and use the future as a way to plan where it is that we're heading to. But how far you look out yeah, I think is entirely up to every individual. Like you look 5 years ahead. For me at this moment in time, I'm looking probably more like 1, 2 years ahead. Certainly when it comes to my private life, when it comes to business, there's still that long-term vision of how I want to help people in the world, but which is helping to keep me on track. But I don't have any majorly fixed, this must happen. I think probably in the past I did, but that's something at this moment that I've changed. And maybe in 2 years I'll have a different viewpoint because I've had a different experience. But till now, that's really how I'm looking at things. So I think it's really important we get too fixated on what our current circumstances are, and we use that to drive our thinking and our feeling, and that for me is where we need to change. We need to kind of block that out and just focus on ourselves, our feeling, and where we're heading to. You're quiet again.
I love that, Rachel. I love that. It's very, very important to know where we need to go and to actually look at our current situation and not judge our situation based on our color or based on our environment or based on who we think we are supposed to be, but what are we willing to tolerate? Because success and the future is all to do with energy. What energy are you willing to carry? Are you willing to carry the energy of keep going and succeeding, or the energy of giving up? So that's what carries us, is our energy that says, you know what, I refuse to be this, but I'm willing to go and find out what's on the other side. And for me, if anyone is watching, you can actually look back at your story, and the person that you are meant to be is in that inner child. When you were at school, when you were playing, the things that you love to do, the personality, the character, where, you know, as a child, we refuse to be defeated. Children don't get defeated. They keep going. Even if they fail, they'll keep going and keep going. If they want to crawl, a child wants to crawl, they'll keep trying until they actually find the balance. So that is where the story is best. That's what I had to do. I had to go back. Who was Nomsa when she was a child? When I was 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old. And I realized that actually I was not living the life that I'm supposed to be living. And I just went back, and there were some forgiveness that I needed to do for myself because I had neglected myself. And at the time, I didn't speak like this. I wasn't confident. I played football. I sang on stage. But some people seem to think when somebody goes on stage, they sing naturally, they are confident. No, they're not. There's a little bit of confidence, entertainment confidence, but the really true confidence, it means when you come out on stage, you have to be the same person. But I wasn't that. I was miserable. When I'm out of stage, I'll be like miserable. And then I was like, this is the person that I don't even know. So I had to go back. The Nomsa that didn't actually care what the world thought of her. Nomsa that is loving and caring, that would do anything to actually help her family or friends and help herself. But I was like somebody who shy away, who I didn't speak the way that I'm speaking now. So I believe that anybody can actually find that inner self within themselves and become the person that they want to be and create the future that you want, but don't get obsessed about it. I hear and listen when people are talking about manifesting, that you have to hug teddy bears, you have to this, like what Rachel was saying, you put on the vision board and ask God for a 3-bedroom big house, and then you get that house with a swimming pool, and you keep say you celebrate, but then maybe there's an upgrade for you. So that is very, very important. If you get blessings, have an open mind of, you know what, I'm loving this business of blessings, and I'm gonna keep asking for more. Show me any hidden secret, hidden talent that could take my life to the next level. Don't get comfortable. Be grateful at the same time. Being grateful and not wanting more is different. When you are being grateful, it means I thank God for giving me this house, these children, for giving me this, whatever the past, this life. But I thank him. But God, is there anything more? Can you search my stars? What is there? What is written in my book of life? What is written in my stars? Have I got 7 stars? When you have 7 stars, it means you could be a billionaire if you work hard. There are so many people who have 7 stars who goes to the grave who not achieved even maybe 10,000 pounds in their bank account, but they have 7 stars, which they don't know anything about it. When you have 7 stars, it means you could be something big. You could create many things. When you have 6 stars, some people have 6. It means their destiny is this. It could be big as this. Some people have 5. So you got to figure out in your destiny, how many stars do you have? And then go for that. Rachel, anyone who is watching right now, for those who are watching, guys, and if you are at Nkosi Talk Shows and you're part of our family, please connect with Rachel. That's what she does for work. Self-love and focusing, helping you, focusing, balancing the present moment and the future. That's what she does for work. If you can get in touch with her and find out how, even if it means a free consultation, just message her and have a word and see how she can help you. Rachel, if anyone is watching right now and they want to know who you are and where can they find you, could you please explain to our audience who you are and where they can find you if they need you?
Yeah, so I'm Rachel G. I speak, I teach, and I coach on basically self-growth, the inner self-growth. I'm passionate about self-growth, and it's basically consumed my life about, evolving myself and becoming more in tune with who I truly am. And I just love change. It's a catalyst for growth. And so I have really developed this gratitude for change and how painful our transitions in life really can move us and move our lives in really most unexpected and beautiful ways if we give it a chance. And so, yeah, working with me, I'd say as a result of working with me as your self-growth coach, then you will feel first, think second, and act third. You will align with your authentic expression, and you will manifest more of what it is that you truly desire in life. And we go about this by developing unconditional self-acceptance, by resolving mental inner conflicts and really releasing sort of like the emotional blocks, and to find your authentic voice. And so really I look for men as well as, or women as well as men, who are eager to, let's say, connect to their inner truth and to cultivate a loving, authentic relationship with themselves. So if you know somebody, send them my way.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Myself is Nomsa here. I'll basically help you to break the chains. If you have those chains that are holding you, find that love. I'm a love harmonist. All I do, I harmonize love. If you are looking to connect with someone and you don't feel confident enough, I will help you to break the chains of I'm not enough, the chains of the guilt, the shame, whatever we are ashamed of. We just help you out, and then I connect you with that special person so you don't find yourself in divorce, because divorce is very, very costly, and choosing the right person, sometimes it can help. And also people grow as well. So you have to understand how to deal with someone when they're growing and you are not growing, how you can catch up. Can you imagine you're dating Rachel and you're not into personal development, or you are dating me? So that means you're going to have to catch up. So I help you to actually understand what it means to work on yourself, what it means to select that person that you desire based on your want, on your world. Create your own world, and then bring someone into that world. Tony Robbins speaks about the world a lot, how you can actually understand someone's world and be able to connect with that person. I say the spirit of love. Everyone has their own life that they want, and they have people that they would like to share that life with. And when you find someone, you got to share with them so they can connect with you. That you share them your past, not bruising them. There's a difference between bruising someone with your past or just sharing your past so they can actually relate to you. And when that person relates to you, they sympathize, relate, and then connect. So, and there's a big difference between bruising them, comparing them with your exes, comparing them with who you want to compare them. I used to compare men with my father. I feel sorry for them. Honestly, before I go into personal development, I'll be like, why are you telling me off? In my heart, I don't get told off. I get explained things. My father never told me off. I'll be comparing without actually realizing. So I'll compare men. And when relationship gets into that stage of now getting serious and arguments, I'll be like, I don't argue. My father never argued with me. Who do you think you are? I'm out. So those are the things that I had to correct in my life and understand that actually my father was unique as individual. I don't have to compare him with my men. So those are the things that I had to learn. And we are here at Nkosi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. And please, if you're watching us at Nkosi Talk Shows page, Rachel and I would love to receive some stars from you, and those stars will help us reach more people in our community. And live with grace, everyone, and God bless. Rachel, any words of encouragement you want to leave with our audience?
Just try to live more from the heart and allow your head to take the actions that your heart is willing or is desiring to want to have in its life.
Thank you so much, Rachel. God bless everyone.